Okay, we're back here for part 2. Part 1 we got the axles built. Part 2 we're going to be opening bag B, which looks to be shock parts. Which doesn't make any sense to me, because according to this bag, this is bag B and it's got the shock parts in it. Bag B, according to this, is supposed to have the drive shafts. So let's see if we can find out where that's at. Alright, let me hunt them down and I'll be right back. Okay, well, bag C here had these parts in it, which evidently was supposed to be in bag B, but at least we have them, so that's fine. We'll just get this back out of the way. And these were in one of the plastic bag parts, and I'm pretty sure it'll tell us which one we need of these. You got a long one, short one, 2 long ones and 2 short ones. We'll figure it out. Alright, well, let me get these apart and we'll pick up from there. We'll get going on it. Be right back. Okay, what we're going to do here on this one is get the drive shafts together. So you take this piece here with the ball, put this pin in here, and it's got a hole. You line the hole up straight up and down. Take this part, stick it to where you can see through the hole, then grab one of these little pins and put it in. Then you grab a retaining ring and put that on like that, and that makes this little joint. Then you'll take one of your pieces and the screw goes down through, and you gotta get a little thread lock and lock it on there. So I'm gonna do the rest of them and I'll be right back. Okay, we got the drive shafts put together, and I think there's a little teeny line on either one of these, and this is how you get everything straight so that your drive shafts don't get all funky. You know, it keeps them turning right if they're at an angle. Alright, so we're going to move to the next. Got both of those done. Let's see what our next is. It will be the shocks. So we'll start putting the shocks together. And if you have one, this little shock tower right here is a godsend when it comes time to build them, because you can set them right in here, fill them up with your oil. God forbid any drip out on you, it'll drip into these little trays instead of making a mess everywhere else. So I'm going to pull the parts out for the shocks and kind of show you what one of them looks like, and then we'll go from there. Alright, be back in a second. Okay, you got all the parts dug out, and I'm putting them back here. I'm going to put a shock together. First thing you do is you grab one of these tubes, little red washer there, put that in. There's a little black spacer, very important, put that in. Another little red washer. Get that all lined up real nice like that. Then you put the bottom cap on. These are just plastic. I'll probably update these to the aluminum, but for right now that's what we're going to use. Okay, then after that you take your spring retainer and screw that on. Okay, then you take the shaft, and there again, here's these little dinky clips again. What you got to do with that is you start on the bottom one. Try not to drop them like that. Same thing, you put your finger here to hold it still. You get that first one on. You got to use this special black spacer. It's got little sides on it. And what that does is let the fluid go beside it. It slows it down. Take this other clip. Damn, these things are small. Fingers are too big. Okay, like I said, clip goes flying. Alright, let me find that clip real quick and I'll get this on and I'll be right back. Okay, we got the other clip on. You want to make sure everything seats real well. It's nice and tight. This will still spin beneath the clips. Okay, then the next thing we got to do, and I always like to take a little shock oil. Every one of them you get gets a new oil. I got so much oil now, it's crazy. I put a little oil on it, keep it from jamming up my washers, those rubber washers when I first put it in. Now you put that in, see that slid real nice. Alright, then it's going to want you to put this spacer on, and then screw in your eyelet. Alright, and we'll move on to the next step after this, which will be filling the shock with oil and building the top cap and everything. So give me a second to, I'm going to get the other three like this and I'll be right back. Okay, we got our shocks all put together. Now we're going to go on to the next part, which is putting the cap together and the O-rings in it. Then we'll fill it with oil. And then after that we'll put the springs in. So we're going to put these little simulated reservoirs on, and we'll go from there. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, now we're at the point where we got to fill the shocks with oil. And trying to get the air out of it. I got a little bit of air still in this one, and I'm going to work on that. I got a little trick I can do. I'll have to take this end back off, take off this rubber grommet. I can't seem to squeeze it enough before I tighten it to get all the air out. See, it's wanting to pull it back too, so we're going to work on that a little bit off camera. But what you do now is you fill these up with oil. Shocks are easy to build, but they're hard to bleed. And next thing you do is you give it a little upward push, and this will get rid of the air that's underneath your plunger. There's quite a bit under there. You'll see your fluid get lower. Then you just put some more fluid in it. And when you're done with that, you just make sure your cap has a gasket in it, and screw this down a little bit, and you just put your cap on. So I get oil all over my book. I can't hardly do this without making a mess ever, so it's going to be messy, so just get used to it. You're going to have shock oil stuck on your hands for seems like ever. Didn't do too bad with that one. I'll just bring this spring retainer ring down and try and clean off as much of the oil as you can. Just repeat that again through the rest of them, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that we got the shocks put together there, the next thing to do is we put on the little spring, the red one. Well, they're all gray, but there's a little mark on here that you can see is red. That one goes on first. And then there's a little spacer for that. And then we got a green. And of course you can get different colors. And the different colors make it stronger, softer, what have you. And then we put this little clip here on. And there you go. Got a completed shock. Alright, I'm going to do that with the other four, and I'll be right back. Okay, now we got 4 completed shocks. We set these over here to the side. And you want us to bring up the drive, the axles again. And our next step, 14 here, which will be adding the Y-link, and the Dingo has this on both sides. So your upper links are still plastic, and your lower links are the aluminum. So let me get these out real quick. See what we got here. So what they want us to do now is to get this screw here, this long one, 25 millimeter. Let's put a ball end in there. Two millimeter. 2mm, I said. There you go. We'll screw these on. Again, these are plastic, so you want to take your time. I got to do the front and the rear, so I'm going to do them both at the same time here. To where I don't overheat and strip out the plastic. Just switch back and forth. Don't want to over tighten. Alright. Now they want us to hook the drive shafts up. I'll take one of these pins here. Oop, wrong one, I'm sorry. Here we go. Drive shaft pins. And it fits through. Yeah. There we go. I'll tell you what, first thing I want to do is put a little thread lock on that. I don't want that coming back out on me. Some of that thread lock off. Overdid that a little bit. Okay. Got to get some new tools. My bits are slipping inside the fitting there. There we go. I'll do the same thing to the front. A little bit of thread lock. Yes, you could use the red if you like. I prefer the blue. Because I want to be able to get it out again if I have to. Alright. I don't like the way that's sitting. Let's try this side. way too much thread lock. And for some reason this one doesn't want to go in right, so guess we're back to the other side again. Alright, well that's it for step 14 and 15. Let me look at this, see what the next ones are, and we'll see if we got time to do any more. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, it looks like the next step will be building the links. And we're going to come back to this because this video is getting a little long. We got the links and then the transmission. And we'll pick it up the next time. So, this time we got our shocks built. The drive shafts and the wires on the axle. Next we'll do the links. Okay, until next time, thank you for subscribing, or please subscribe. Please comment. I always love to hear the comments, and please like. Until next time, bye.